Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark, and today I'm speaking with Colby Couch at HCB TPMC. Colby, thanks so much for being with us today.
No, well, thank you for having me on.
I mean, you've got an interesting business career, man. You have sold a previous business. You actually just acquired this business here in the last few weeks. Really excited to hear kind of the story of the company. Maybe we could just start by hearing kind of what type of services HCBT PMC offers to your customers.
Yeah, it's eerily similar to what old company offered, but manufacturing food, mainly food processing equipment like conveyors, crossovers, mezzanines, scale platforms, just about anything in the food and beverage world we manufacture. We have lasers, we have brakes, we have mill lathes, we have about everything in our shop that you would need to fabricate, and also we have field men that would install that said equipment. So not only do we fabricate, we also install. Also, we have a team of CSA guys. CSA stands for Civil, Structural, Architectural. That's servicing more of the food and bev again. We have a commercial aspect of it. We'll get in that in a little bit, but those guys do your flat concrete, your structural steel, your IMP, which is insulated metal panels, more of the construction side of things. And some more skilled trade that we also offer is process piping. So we have welders and fitters that's on board with us here. So we offer array. So you have manufacturing, you have CSA, you have process piping. We also self-perform our insulation on the process piping. And as well, now that Titan Industrial Group acquired HCB TPMC, we also offer general construction and construction management.
Wow. So is it metal metal kind of fabrication heavy? I mean, is that when we're talking about, kind of this industrial work that you guys do and the manufacturing? I mean, is it metal fabrication largely, or are there a lot of other elements to it as well?
Mainly metal. We like to stick with stainless. We don't want poor material in our shop, but we will fabricate in detail carbon steel as well. But mainly it's stainless steel.
That's gotcha. And I mean, I have some buddies in the metal fabrication space. I mean, I'm fascinated by it. Folks who've kind of done a crossover from, doing work in houses and kind of remodeling to now doing a lot of metal kind of, steel manufacturing. And, I mean, so I have, a little cursory knowledge of it. I'm fascinated by it. I mean, do you do everything in house, or do you actually do any type of, you do installs?
So outsourcing, no, I mean, we bead blast in house. What we'll do, we'll order and procure raw metals. Let's call it sheet metal, stainless steel. We'll bring it in, we will cut it, we'll laser it, we will bend and break it, and then we will assemble and fabricate and weld it all out. So typically it's a lot of TIG, Titan Industrial Group, short, big TIG, TIG. A lot of TIG welding, but we, on the carbon stuff, we will MIG and we will stick. But yeah, no, we pretty much do everything in-house. On our conveyors, our belt and our drives, motor gearboxes, obviously we procure third party.
Okay.
So, yep.
And then how many folks do you have on your team?
We have benefited right now. We have at TPMC, we have 25. We use supplemental labor on the outside. When we go in and install at our customers, we could have upwards of 125 on the job site if needed. I've been doing this a long time. Like I said, Oldco, I built that company, and in less than 5.5 years, from 2 employees to north of 110 employees. From revenue, I was $250,000 in the hole, and by year 5, we were gross revenue about 130 million. So we've been around the block. Same services we offer. I did a lot of commercial there as well towards the end. So I learned a lot what not to do at that. So new company, we're going to focus on what we're good at and what my expertise are. So.
Wow, that's incredible, Colby. What is your service area? I mean, you guys ship, and do you have customers all over the country?
Yes, sir. Lower 48. We will consult. So we have process designers on site too, and guys that will lay out. So let's say a food and beverage company out of California calls and needs some help on some throughput or yield, whatever. the case may be. We will consult in California, but we're not licensed or do construction in California. But lower 48, pretty much, we'll go anywhere. Our guys travel. We've got a project right now in Ohio. The industry's changed quite a bit. The workforce changed quite a bit. And, guys aren't willing to stay out on the road 3 to 6 months anymore. So we had to get pretty creative. So we'll do 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and we'll send one crew up, and then we'll have a merge, if you will, and we'll send another crew up about 2 days before those guys leave, and they'll work there a week, and then vice versa. So they'll intermingle and make sure we have all of our look aheads covered and our schedules updated. So yeah, it's fun. It's hard. The workforce is it's hard to find right now. It's a lot that has changed, especially since COVID.
Interesting. So we talk with, folks, contractors, builders at all different levels of business. And I mean, your story and what you were able to do with your old company, and what I imagine you'll be doing here post haste with your new company, with this type of growth. I mean, it's incredible growth. And so when I hear stories of people who have been able to put that together, I really pay attention. I really listen, and I'm especially curious. And I'm curious about one aspect, and that is, I mean, we see the companies that are able to really scale often have really focused on a niche, and they're like, look, this is what I'm good at. We've got, maybe a very big footprint, but a very narrow kind of channel that we operate in. And with the kind of restaurant, level manufacturing that you guys are doing, can you talk to your thinking about why you have decided to really kind of niche into this? Obviously, there's plenty of business. Instead of going wide and saying, well, we can do this and we can do that. I mean, you guys could certainly do all kinds of different services.
So I did that. So there's good growth and bad growth, and hard lesson learned is focus on what you're good at and stay and put it all in on that. A lot of folks that I made that mistake, and a couple of my business partners made that mistake in the past. We've got the revenue coming in. Let's try plumbing, so to speak. We'll self-perform plumbing. Focus on what you're good at. Focus on what's making money and what's driving the business and how you got there. Right? What got you to the opportunity to get to the level you're at and to try and more riskier things, etc. I'm not saying don't try things that are risky, but I'm saying focus on what you're good at. Focus on what's bringing in the revenue, and really dial into that. Reinvest that money into, if you lose a team member, a valuable team member, hire somebody better. Maybe training, mentoring. I like to do a lot of executive leadership team meetings. We'll do that after hours or on the weekend, whenever it's fit. Instead of me doing that, actually hire a professional, bring somebody in. Offering a wide array is not always best. A lot of customers are asking for us. They want one point of contact. Well, you can still offer that to customers, but don't take on the liability, sub it out. Just remember where you come from. But we don't typically do. Now, I have done 7 Brew. I've built all their equipment. I have in the past. I've built all their equipment. I've actually built their stores. But we actually do food. Our customers are food manufacturing facilities. I'm not telling you who my customers are, but for example, Tyson Foods, JBS Pilgrims, George's, Simmons, OK Foods, ConAgra, Gatorade, folks like that is who my number one customers are, but not restaurants.
I see. So food manufacturing facilities, larger kind of companies and corporations that are doing this.
Yes, that's my main focus and my main customer group. So,
do you? Yeah. Fantastic. Do you do, how, if folks are trying to break into a company like, some of these large, Tyson, I mean, not that those are necessarily your customers, but at that level of customer, there's types of larger companies.
I don't mind saying that. Go ahead.
Okay. Just want to be discreet. How do you reach out to those types of companies? I mean, inevitably there's so much word of mouth. You get a great reputation in the marketplace. I mean, are there other ways? Do you have a team going out? Do you reach out at all yourself?
So a little bit about the industry. It's a very toxic industry and it's hard to break into. I'm not saying that you can't, but it is a service industry and it is off of reputation and networking relationships, right? So I worked at Tyson Foods in their engineering department for I don't know, north of 7 years. I worked for them directly. Indirectly, I worked for them for approximately 10 years. So it's networking. Like I tell my kids, your network equates to your net worth. It's who you know and who you build relationships with. Somebody new coming into it that's never been in the industry, I would say don't get into it because it's going to chew you up and spit you out. I mean, it is a niche market and you have to know the process and procedures and the ins and outs. And 95% of the time, you don't have the experience or the backing with experience, the folks behind you that have the experience, they won't let you in because your project or whatever that you're providing for them literally could shut down that facility, which feeds many Americans and many people, worldwide. So it's a risk they're not willing to take. So it's a tough market to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely got to know the right people and you have to be experienced in it to get into it for sure.
Gotcha. And then you talked about here, when you're say leading meetings, actually bringing in a professional, someone who's like really expert at that level. And I mean, we think about that here ourselves. I mean, here in our company and, from stories we've heard about, I mean, it's just amazing to when folks go up to higher levels of business and the way that they're making decisions. I mean, this is something that you do or have done to actually bring in to say, we've got important meetings happening over here. I'm not going to necessarily take every one. I'm going to bring in someone who's a specialist in this, who can really execute on this. I mean, is that what you've done in the past, Son?
Absolutely. So those folks are what I call subject matter experts. So if it's customer driven and I need somebody that is more experienced than me or my team, I would definitely bring in somebody that is more well versed, and I would call them and introduce them as subject matter experts. If it's something in house that I need training on my project management staff, my project coordinators, my superintendents, my foremans, I would bring in a professional consulting group or something like that would help with the executive leadership team to help set up process procedures. Communication, communication is a global problem on about every aspect of everything, but help us, how can we communicate better with our team, retainage, how do we treat folks that, we're in a tough industry. I'm dealing with a lot of welders, fabricators, millwright guys that are traveling, sacrificing away from their friends and family constantly. They're not in good moods usually. How do you talk with those folks? How do you communicate with them? Because, we're all tired. We're all running. I hope I have the energy to build this company like I did old company, but it's a lot. So yeah, I would bring in people like that. But on the customer side, I would call them subject matter experts. It just depends on what that is. Is it refrigeration? Is it, thermal piping? Is it process piping? Is it conveyance? Is it, structural concrete? What is it? I would bring somebody in to be able to help speak more intelligently, train my team to make sure that we have the right processes, procedures in place. I would look at a lot of probably on the engineering side, the structural engineer, the, mechanical engineer, the refrigeration, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, on the internal side, it would be more on the consulting side. And, even you would look, industrial construction is not much different in management style than it is on commercial. It's just much more fast paced. So you have to be able to react, and the sense of urgency is totally different. So your schedules, same concept, they're just different and more aggressive. So I needed help on that aspect of it.
This very basic question, but I mean, these aren't Zoom meetings. I mean, you're flying people in to your location.
Yeah,
of course. So if you listen to this interview, I just want to kind of point out some things here. First of all, I mean, Colby, thank you so much for being here. I mean, it's such a valuable conversation with you. I learned so much from brilliant business owners that are on the show. I'm really lucky to be able to do that. But if you're listening to this episode, I want to kind of point out some things here. Colby built in 5 years a business from negative $250,000 to doing $130 million gross revenues. Okay, that doesn't happen by accident. And so everything that he's talking about here about niching down, if you lose someone on the team, hire someone better, bring in professionals to lead things. I mean, this is like so powerful. And I mean, these are not inexpensive events that are happening here. Right. It's probably an understatement, right? But Colby is investing deeply into the company to bring in the subject matter experts that he needs to lead the team if he doesn't have that particular skill or that depth of skill in a certain area. Is orchestrating this and making it happen. Fantastic, Colby. What does the future look like for you guys? I mean, it sounds like it's huge growth mode. I mean, the next
Yes.
few years, what are your plans?
Yes, man, it's like you just said, I want to focus on good growth. I don't want the bad growth. I want to be able to hit sustainable numbers. Another bit of advice: once you hit $50 million in revenue, it is extremely difficult. I would say 50 to 75. It is extremely difficult to get to that 100 million because you don't have the money or that's a lot of revenue, but you don't have the money or the revenue to hire those professional folks that I'm talking about. And you're spread really thin. Almost better to go back down to 35 and, from the 50, unless you're going to push through to go to 100. My goal is to get HCB TPMC at a sustainable 30 to $40 million a year company within 2 years. I know that's aggressive and that's a lot of growth, but in the industry that I'm in, it's attainable. It's just a lot of work, 7 days a week, 364 days a year. So that's my goal.
Fantastic. Colby, what a great story, and just what an amazing. It's amazing to be able to sit and talk to you. If folks are looking for HCB TPMC's services, working with food manufacturers, metal fabrication, and the things that surround that, what are the best ways to get in touch with you guys?
Email, LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm working on our social media right now. It's going to be a little bit. Phone, that's 479-310-9464. And then obviously hcbtpmc.com. You can find us on LinkedIn, direct message. I appreciate you.
Fantastic. Colby, thank you so much for spending time today and teaching our audience.
Yeah, thank you.